Florida Senator Marco Rubio joins us now. Senator, in Miami it seems okay, but the rest of Florida, what has you worried most?
Well, the water, the flooding. When we talk about storm surge and we talk about flooding, it's important to just be frank what we're talking about. We're talking about people drowning to death, dying because the water is way too high. We saw they had to redo the number last night in the storm surge map because they didn't have a color for 12 to 15 feet of storm surge, which is now being forecast for this area. So as I'm looking at it now and the evolving changes, I mean, saw the governor's comment a moment ago, I worry, and now we pray for the people who didn't heed these evacuation warnings. And this is one of the reasons why those warnings come out so early, and it's such a wide area that is warned, because you just don't know exactly what are the areas. So if you're anywhere on the west coast of Florida, certainly southwest Florida, you are in danger. You need to get away from the coastline into higher ground. But we know now that there are some areas that are going to be hit harder than others. Charlotte Harbor is an example. We're very worried about that. And then it's going to move inland very slowly, drop a lot of rain, high winds. So I don't think this is going to be unique just to southwest Florida. It looks like central Florida is going to get hit pretty hard here as well. And we'll see what happens with that as it moves up I-4.
Senator, I know some people in Tampa, when we thought it was going to hit Tampa, were trying to decide, talking with their families, shutting down their businesses. Should we leave? Should we hunker down? Should we leave? Most of them, I think, decided to leave. But now we know it's not going to hit the Tampa area as hard as it's hitting the Fort Myers area or Sarasota area. Do you know, have you talked to people that live in that area that thought it was going to hit Tampa and they said, you know what, we're just going to stay, and now they're regretting it?
No, I mean, generally in the Tampa area, all the businesses near the water there are closed. There's a couple hospitals there that are close to the coastline, so you worry about that and how they've handled the evacuation and how they're going to be able to get people in there to rescue people if it actually goes through there. But look, Tampa Bay is not out of the woods. Now, it's not going to get the worst of it. It's not going to get 15-foot storm surge or 10-foot storm surge, but there is going to be storm surge. There are going to be high winds. This is a massive storm. I mean, this storm is bigger than the state of Florida. It's wider than the peninsula. So even if it doesn't hit you, either when we talk about now going through Tampa, the eye of the storm is not going to go over Tampa. These winds are going to be in excess of hurricane force winds that are going to be in the Tampa Bay region. There is going to be storm surge. It isn't the worst thing that could have happened, but it's going to be bad. So I would not, if I'm in the Tampa Bay area, I would not go back to your homes or you're in an evacuation zone. Everyone needs to stay out until they are clear, which is probably not going to be for most of the state until very late Thursday or early Friday.
Senator, what are you expecting from the federal response to this storm?
Well, the federal response is to back up the state. The primary responder is the State Emergency Operations Center. I spoke to the governor last night again. I mean, they sound like they're in ready to go shape, and I believe them because Florida is very good at doing this. The federal response is to provide the state whatever the state needs or might need. And so far, from what I have heard and deduced, I'll talk to the FEMA director later today, no Florida request has gone unfulfilled. So whatever Florida's asked for, it's either they have it or it's been pre-positioned. And now it's just kind of a wait and see of where it's needed. I do think that the individual assistance that FEMA provides for people, not for the state, that process is one that we're trying to get people ready for. There will be people damaged. There will be people left outside their homes. We put up a graphic yesterday. We put it on social media and sent it around to the local stations about the kinds of documentations people need to have nearby, because that's what they're going to need when they apply for individual assistance if they need it after the storm passes.